Hey, how's it going there, YouTube? Chuck Hacks here. I'm joined by Adam, aka Dorgon,
What's up, guys?
and today we're going to be talking about setup sweepers.
These are fun. These are really, really fun.
These are the type of Pokemon that actually give the game strategy. Some of the times these will be the best Pokemon in the game, some of the times they'll be the worst.
Seems to be a recurring theme with a lot of these things we cover.
Yep. Uh, just so you guys know, this is my favorite type of Pokemon to use. Fits perfectly into my playstyle. So they snowball really quick and start destroying games.
Yeah, the biggest danger with using these mons, though, is a lot of them are
Or
pretty
worth,
frail. So
or
setting
the
up,
yeah, they'll either be frail or worthless if they can't get set up.
yeah, or if you're setting up, you die easily. So
hmm And so Adam is one of his favorite Pokemon is Lucario. So Adam, tell us about Lucario.
So Lucario is fun because it's serious power from both special and physical side. I prefer special, as you can see on screen right now. The beauty of Nasty Plot is you use it 3 times and you're at +6, and if you're running 252 special attack on Lucario, you are at 1,316 special attack once you hit +6.
That's a big number.
Like, that's close to double Chansey's base HP. So, and we've covered many times how broken Chansey's HP stat is.
Yeah. Great thing about Lucario is if you're facing it, you're probably not gonna let it get to +6 though. If
It
you
could
look at
happen.
if you look at its bulk, it's not that great. It's 70, 70, 70. Nothing really is gonna.
Yeah, the other problem is it's not all that fast, only base 90.
But if you outspeed stuff, you can get some serious damage off.
Yeah, an important thing with Lucario is for the most part, if you're setting up with it, you run the speed nature because, as I just mentioned, 1,316 special attack. If you're not knocking something out with that, probably shouldn't have Lucario win against it.
Yeah. Okay, now let's move on to Volcarona, one of the scariest bugs out there. All right, so Volcarona, it likes to dance around its opponents. I think it just likes to taunt people. If we look, its setup move is going to be Quiver Dance, raises its special attack, special defense, and speed by 1, which are ironically its 3 highest stats to begin with. It
Go
just
figure.
becomes a monster. And on Fiery Dance, it's a nice stab fire move for you. Has a 50% chance to raise your special attack even further, making your sweep even stronger. You'll see here we have Bug Buzz, and because I misclicked something, it should have had Giga Drain. Giga Drain gives you massive sustain once you start stacking your special attack. Because if you look, you have 405 special attack if you go modest fully invested. If you get to +2 from like a Quiver Dance and a Fiery Dance boost, you're already at 810 in 2 turns. Now you can heal all the damage you took back.
Yeah, another great thing with that is Volcarona is weak to water and rock, especially rock, and Giga Drain is a good counter to both of those.
Yep, super effective. Um, so there are a few different ways to run a Volcarona. As you see here, sometimes if you go into your hit points or into your defenses, it can make you a lot bulkier, letting you take advantage of a citrus berry. Sometimes I will do something that people really hate. I'll go in even number hit points. So then I get put down to 50% to proc a citrus berry. So if they have stealth rocks up, I come in at 75% instead of 50. Um,
True.
Other thing, you run max speed, so then you only need one Quiver Dance to start out speeding things. Volcarona can do a lot, but If the other team has fast rock, then you can't do anything.
Not a very common coupling. So,
It's not a very common coupling, but like when Terracion's around, it's a pain.
yeah.
Or Scarflanders in VGC. Alright, let's move on to Scizor.
Okay, Scizor is fun because it is the king of priority sweeps, in my opinion, anyway. That 130 base special attack, you're already sitting at 394 without any boosts, which is more than most Pokemon get. And then, of course, Technician, now you have a Bullet Punch sitting here, which is, okay, yeah, it's base 40, but that boosts up to 60 base steel. And then Bug Bite goes to base 90 base bug damage. So those make him both very powerful. And at +6 from your sword stances, you're at 1,576 attack.
That's kind of ridiculous.
Okay, I can breathe.
Yep. Scizor, it also has pretty decent bulk. If you look compared to Lucario, who is 70, 70, 70, Scizor is 70, 180, and you actually get to invest into its hit points.
Yeah.
It really
Scizor's only real flaw is fire is
fire.
terrifying.
Yep. And now on to the King of Sweeps, Cloyster. Cloyster has won me many battles. And it's all because of this move, Shell Smash. It's a ridiculous move. Doubles your speed, special attack, and physical attack. All in one turn. But you lose some defenses. It pairs great with a focus sash because you live one hit, you get the setup up. If they don't have any priority, then you win.
Then you're fast.
Yeah.
As
Um,
long as they're not a steel type.
yeah, if they are a steel type and are not weak to water, then you might have a little bit of trouble with it. That's why occasionally you'll see people run a naughty nature and run some investment into their special attack and run something instead of Razor Shell. They might run in Power Fighting, in Power Fire, or something like Hydro Pump. Just something to try and hit those steel types. But Cloyster, he just does so much damage because he has a decent attack, but getting +2 in one turn sets him up all the way to 634 attack. Couple that with his Skill Link Icicle Spear, which is base 125 damage before stab. You just get ridiculous damage. This thing should not exist. It's just so good. But you get really fast, so you don't even have to worry about your speed. And Cloyster, he just personally has a ridiculous defense stat. So occasionally you'll be able to set up 2 shell smashes. Other people, they might want to run a. They might run. I think it's White Herb. Yeah.
Yeah.
What White Herb does is it makes it so you keep your defenses high. So you'll make sure to set up on something that is physically offensive, where you can take 2 or 3 hits, and then you'll get 2 shell smashes up. And if you get 2 shell smashes up, GG. You'll be able to kill almost everything in the game. Now on to Adam's little mascot.
Hey.
Yep, the one that I actually use in battle, and he doesn't.
So, Hackers is fun because it has access to Dragon Dance, and you're boosting your speed and your attack. So you're becoming very fast and very hard hitting right off the bat. If you get to say a +2, which is most of the time what you're only gonna get, that's 864 attack. I mean, that's mowing down quite a few guys. In the event that you actually get to +6, which if you do, kudos, but you're pushing 2,000 attack at 1,728. So,
Oh my gosh.
just in case you're wondering, like, how broken his Haxor is,
It,
that's a lot of attack.
yep, and I do believe it gets sword. It gets sword stance too,
Yeah,
if you are running some type of team that does not care about the speed. Maybe you're running sticky web or something. You can run sword stance and get that +2 real quick.
yeah. The reason you run Lumberry, for the most part on Haxorus, is if it gets burned or paralyzed, it's pretty much shut down. And then if you look at its beautiful moves, what resists steel, or what resists dragon, that would be steel, so earthquake can hit those. And then
And
what resist or immune to dragon, you have fairies, and it also gets poison jab.
and it gets mold breaker, which mold
And it
breaker
gets mold break.
earthquake is amazing because those rotoms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you ignore levitate, you ignore sturdy.
Haha, Electros has a weakness.
True.
Yep, and Haxor's is the one that found it. Okay, and now on to a different type of setup. A ridiculous setup.
So
Swoobat.
so Swoobat,
Swoobat basically is able to set up based off of its ability simple. As you see here, if this Pokemon's stats are raised or lowered, the effect is doubled instead. That means it's a move like Calm Mind, instead of being raised by 1, you'll get 2 of each. And an item like Weakness Policy that gives you +2 in each will instead give you +4 in each. So it's kind of ridiculous that in one turn you can set up a Calm Mind, get hit by say a Shadow Ball, survive the Shadow Ball, get your Weakness Policy off. You're now +6 special attack.
that's turn one of setup.
Yep.
That's not happening with anything else.
And it also gets the move Stored Power, which for every stat boost, it just gains extra power.
And
It,
that's where Swoobat comes in to be special. Where instead of just relying on a stat boost, it's relying on a move to capitalize its damage.
yep. A move and stat boost at the same time. It's a combination effect. So if you
Yeah.
get your weakness policy up, you'll notice that it's +4, because simple, in both of the two. It gives you a net total of +8. You get 20 for each stat boost, so you're getting 160 base power added onto your stored power just by getting hit by a super effective move. It's kind of ridiculous. But if you also got your Calm Mind up, that's +2 +2. That's 4 more. You're getting an extra 80 power. On top of this 20 you already start with, you're just doing massive damage after one turn.
Yeah.
And if you look at the set we have up here, you go maximum hit points. You do that so then you can come in on, say, an electric type or a special ghost type. You can get your Calm Mind up. That'll boost your special defense up to the point where you can actually live something. And then you just destroy them. You have Giga Drain for sustain. Say they have something like a Quagsire, and you just start destroying them. So now, just so you guys know, that all of these setup sweepers do have flaws. There are ways to beat them, and we'll talk about that in our next video.
Cliffhanger.
Yep. Um, but the most important thing to using these is figuring out when you can get them set up and when it's actually effective to get them set up. Something like a Cloyster, if you're running the White Herb set, it's great if you can actually get it to go off. But if they have something that can wall you, there's no point to set it up, because then you're just wasting your time. But at the same time, if they can't stop you, then you should be jumping to get it out there. A lot of the times, once one of these Pokemon become useless, you're going to use them more as death fodder.
Yeah, that's kind of how they end up working out. Just because, like we said earlier, a lot of their damage comes from these setup moves. I mean, Scizor, Volcarona, Hackers, they don't really care. Their stats are naturally high anyway. But something like Cloyster or not Lucario, Swoobat,
I'd say
that
even Lucario too.
depends on what it's up against. But
Yeah,
especially,
most of the time things like Lucario, Cloyster, Swoobat, if they can't get set up, they won't be able to do much.
yeah, their damage output isn't nearly high enough to make an impact on the opponent's team.
Hmm. And once you stop being able to make an impact on their team, they become useless.
Yeah.
So these things have the highest potential in the game, but it doesn't mean they always meet that potential.
Yeah.
It's all about getting them to work for your team and to accomplish the goal of knocking out the other team.
Yeah, oftentimes if you try to set up at a bad point, they go down without ever doing any damage. So,
Yep. But just a little side note to all of you guys that are in counter team format leagues, these things are amazing for that format because you can select what moves counter your opponent and how to set up against their defensive walls. A lot of the times, the biggest problem is there is something that can wall it, and you can't be sure what they're going to bring. Another setup sweeper we didn't talk about is Manaphy. Manaphy has a lot of problems sweeping games in regular play because there's so many things that can wall it. But in counter team format, it's amazing because it knows what's gonna be there.
+6 in 2 turns.
Yeah, that thing's a beast. So just so you guys know, when you're picking your setup sweeper, pick one that goes against the threats of the rest of your team, or one that, say your team's really weak to Ferrothorn, pick one that can set up on a Ferrothorn.
Volcarona.
Yep. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Uh, hope we brought some insight into you, and hopefully you guys just really enjoyed it. Yep. So, if you guys have any questions, let us know in the comments below. If you like the video, there's a button to show it. And hope you guys have a great day, and hope you guys are pumped for our next video on how to beat these little guys.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.